Okay. I first just want to say welcome, everyone, and I want to especially thank Fellows Fund and HubSpot for allowing me to channel my inner Oprah today as a moderator with Smita. A rare privilege for me, but looking forward to it. And Smita, I'll start with a good basic question. You recently joined Zoom.
Yes.
After over 20 years in product management with distinguished tenures at Microsoft and Google. Tell us a little bit more about your background and, more importantly, what attracted you to Zoom?
Yeah, absolutely. So, hello everyone. It's great to be here. What a wonderful day of discussions. So most recently, I'm coming to Zoom. It's been just, I think, 100 days. That's what I was told. At Zoom now, I'm coming from Microsoft Teams. I was leading the real-time communications and all the video-related products there. Before that, I was at Google for a long time. Actually, I was leading Google Meet product when the pandemic hit. So, so I saw some of the scaling over there. I worked on a lot of other productivity products. It's Google Voice, Calendar, Tasks, Meet devices. I've also worked on ads, Chromebooks. I worked on a variety of products. I've had a very interesting career, if I were to say so. What really attracted me to Zoom was I'm a big, big believer in hybrid work. I think it's good for humanity. I'm a big believer in video communications and the power of real-time communications. I think there are many unsolved problems here where we all should solve, and it's going to be good for everyone. And Zoom is really a mission-based company. It moves incredibly fast. It has by far the best video quality, and it's investing a lot in internal collaboration as well as external collaboration. So, yes, so far, really great to be here.
Yeah, very excited to have you with us. So AI and generative AI everywhere. It's in the news. We can't escape it. Even on the weekends, can't get away from it. But how are you thinking about strategically positioning Zoom in this current environment with all these advances? And maybe tell us a little bit about what Zoom is actually doing with AI already today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Eric also touched on some of these things earlier in the keynote. I do think generative AI is everywhere. I think it's it's a really exciting time. I've been in tech for a long time, but from my vantage point, like just the variety of problems in hybrid work, in generative AI, and the opportunities, it feels like some of the most exciting times I've been in. But from a Zoom point of view, Zoom is actually a very interesting product surface area. If you think about it, users spend a lot of time on Zoom. And that matters, because where users are, that's where they will use the tools. So in a way, it's a great surface area to really make the users even more productive and help them collaborate better. And so we are, as a product leader at this point, all of our product teams, and we have a large suite of products. I know people are familiar with Zoom meetings, but we have Zoom Team Chat, we have Zoom Phone, we have Zoom Whiteboard, we have our customer-facing product, Zoom Contact Center, Zoom IQ for Sales. All of the product teams are activated on building even more AI features. I mean, everyone was building some. Zoom has been doing a lot in AI already, especially with reference to generative AI. We are moving very fast on these applications and bringing features rapidly to market. A couple of our features should be GA within the next couple of weeks. Meeting Summary is coming, Zoom IQ Chat Compose is coming, Chat Summarization is coming. So we are moving super fast on these because you learn by doing. But apart from the front end, I think it's just equally important, and we have heard a lot about that here today, the shifting landscape or the really rapidly evolving landscape of AI models, and and just the diversity of them, and figuring out like how do we evolve that. So we are taking what we call a federated approach to AI, where we are being very intentional about being able to use multiple models right from the onset. So this combination of what we are doing on the application layer to really empower the users and do that fast, and then on the back end, the federated approach. And you cannot really be in this space without being really responsible about customers' data and how you're treating it. So that's very interwoven into our product strategy at this point.
So I think my own observation as a founder coming into Zoom, and the lesson you learned from Eric is, I've never met somebody who runs a company this big who listens this much to customers as Eric does. It's unbelievable, actually. But in your first 100 days, you've done a lot of that. You've immersed yourself in talking to customers. What are you hearing from our customers about what they want from strategic providers such as Zoom in the area of AI and generative AI? And can you talk a little bit about how this led to the creation of our AI principles that we have come up with. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one thing, I think Zoom has this really fantastic customer base, from the really large to the really small. The world was connecting on Zoom. I talk a lot to customers. I talk a lot to some of our largest customers, as you can imagine, a lot, and frequently. And every customer wants to know what to do with AI. So first of all, the sentiment to learn and do more is pervasive. Everyone wants to know what they're trying to figure out what their AI strategy is, but as a solution provider, they want to know what our AI strategy is. With generative AI, how will we help them? They all want to know how their data will be handled. They want us to be thoughtful stewards of their data. So those are the two things which really is top of the mind for the customers. And then they're eager, when you talk to them about it, there's a little bit, I was talking to one of the reporters recently too. He said there's a lot of talk, where are the products that we can actually play with? So they're also eager to get their hands on products and start really using them. So I think the expectation is good strategy, helping them understand data, helping them understand, navigate the landscape of models and what does it really mean for them, and getting things into their hands fast.
Yeah, it's a great answer. I would just add to that one of the things I've noticed even in the last 100 days is the level of sophistication of the questions that customers are asking about AI has increased almost as fast as the power of the LLM, which is increasing the complexity. And I think if any founders are there and you're thinking about how you approach companies, just be ready, with those FAQs and contact. Is just something I would give as a piece of advice.
The conversations are incredibly engaging and energizing. Yes. So I think all of us in this room are actually very lucky we get to work on this.
Absolutely. So diving further into the federated approach to AI that Eric mentioned this morning, how will Zoom balance the use of third-party foundational models such as OpenAI, Anthropic, with the models that we build and create and improve? How will you determine that? When and how will this be determined?
So again, I think many people have talked about it here. How fast the landscape is evolving, we all have to work with multiple models, and we have to figure out what really, we have to learn from that and figure out how we optimize. From a Zoom perspective, we have announced our partnerships with OpenAI, with Anthropic. We're excited about those partnerships. We have our Zoom's own proprietary models as well. And some of our customers, especially large customers, want to use their own models. They've expressed their desire and will fully support it. So that is a federated approach. But in terms of how will we learn, optimize, apply, I can share some of the things that we are doing in context of the application, and maybe that'll help. So we are about to launch our Zoom meeting summary feature. And so you can look at your meeting summaries. Hopefully it makes people a lot more efficient. And we are going to launch it at scale to our customers. We are using Zoom's own proprietary model for that. Our models understands the conversational data. It understands multi-person conversations. We have actually had a lot of conversational intelligence, one of our products for sales, which is Zoom IQ for sales. And we are applying it to meetings, and we are fine-tuning the quality. A chat compose, which is a more general purpose conversational interface, if you will. This is the Zoom IQ, Zoom team chat. We are using OpenAI for that right now. We announced a partnership with Anthropic. We are really excited about that. And our Anthropic partnership, we really want to apply it to a Zoom contact center product and a Zoom virtual agent type of products. Very rule-based. We're excited about the constitutional AI approach. We want the answers to be maybe more definitive. So, Solvi and Zoom Virtual Agent, and Mahesh was the CEO of Solvi who came. You also, for Zoom Virtual Agent has to be, it's an unattended agent, so the quality has to be very high. So of course you have specific models for that. So I share these examples to show that within the Zoom platform and the use cases, how we are applying these different models, and we continue to evolve and learn from here, and we decide where we take it next.
Yeah, I would just add, I think Yamini said it earlier this morning about, the real value is if you understand the context in which someone is using any technology, AI or generative AI, and you can bring that context to the AI, then I think that's how you differentiate from whatever just generally publicly available.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what you're
Absolutely. I mean, look, the application still matters. Like the application context still matters. The users are in the application. So as soon as you start doing this application work, you will realize how you want to tune your models. What are some of the challenges? What's the sequence of data you want to give it to? How much context you provide? So if you look at, for example, our meeting summary, which was trained on Zoom IQ for Sales, needed to be fine-tuned, again, for general meetings. Or if you look at things like Zoom IQ Chat Compose, having the intelligence of which user is saying what and what kind of tones to use, that only emerges once you start applying it to the application. So taking that application context and applying it to the model to optimize, I think that is where the user value is created.
From a point of view of a business, what do you see as the unique value that Zoom can bring with its AI from a business perspective? Yes, for the user, you described quite well, but maybe from the business perspective.
I think from a business perspective, and again, as we talk to, I mean, this comes from our customers as well, every business is looking for more productivity, better outcomes, but they want to do this while not compromising on their customer experience and the end user experience. So that is the surface which you have to work with. So from an end user perspective, or from the, they are hoping that their employees will become more productive with these tools. And then as you become more productive with the tools, you have more time for creativity, you have more time for collaboration, for relationship building, leading to better outcomes. When they think about the customer service facing kind of applications, in that case also they want to optimize, they want to direct more and more of the traffic to AI, but they want to also be very sure that the customer experience is not compromised. So I think that is where they are looking to see, and of course they are curious about the cost of these products too, and how much will it cost them. I mean, right now I think there's a lot of free trials going on, but eventually all of us will have to think through the monetization aspects.
Yeah, one thing I would just add that came from a customer conversation that I had last week was a light bulb went on for the customer when they started to understand that when you build some of these core capabilities are applicable across multiple business use cases. I'll give you the example of summarization, which is one that you've heard a lot about today, right? The ability to summarize a meeting is a very valuable thing. Ability to extract next steps out of that, next actions, understand context of the meeting, very valuable. But then we were able to apply it to the contact center to say, here's the conversation between the bot and the human. Let's summarize that for the agent. Let's synthesize that to what the agent then talks about with you about the problem you had, synthesize that and summarize. It's a variant of summarization. You have to fine tune it. But the customer, it's sort of a light bulb came on for them and said, oh, you're investing heavily in this so that you can bring it across.
Bring it across, right.
And I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Says you can actually get very specific on the use case, but you
then you orchestrate it across the platform to bring more and more value.
It's good to hear it from them, not from our perspective. Yeah. So what are you most looking forward to? I mean, AI is, I said to somebody that probably in the last 25 years, the most exciting and most misunderstood technology of our times is generative AI, and I think most people would agree. But it's incredibly exciting. But what are you most looking forward to in how Zoom will approach AI, or your own thoughts about how Gen AI will?
Yeah, I think the applications will evolve rapidly. So what I'm looking for is to go from the hype to reality, and for the reality to get better and better over time. I think that's the journey which we all are trying to traverse over here. So we have a very rich roadmap. We have 30, 40 features already on our roadmap. I'm looking forward to, I love it when the features are being built as well, and you can look at the quality and you can fine tune them and you can really improve the experience. You can show them to the customers. So I'm looking to these products continuing to be built out, putting them in the hands of the users, getting the feedback, learning from it, and then continuing to move, as you were saying, from single product flows to orchestration across multiple products, getting into more and more assistive capabilities. Right now, I think the way we are playing with a lot of these use cases is user is in the loop, they get some information, and then they act on it. But can we move from also potentially being this more reactive or user prompted to more proactive? So I think there's a spectrum of capabilities which will evolve, and the power which we put in the hands of the users is going to continue to increase. So I'm very excited about that. I'm also equally excited to see how the layer of models evolves and how the costs and the cost curves and the optimization. I mean, I'm a product person. I work for a business. I also want to figure out how to do the monetization and how to do the cost optimization and how to continue to see, like, we are all investing a lot. We also have to get value from these investments.
So one of the other things, of course, is tremendous excitement. I don't think there's any customer call where this isn't the topic of, one of the top two or three topics on every customer call. But there are also concerns, right? Everybody's concerned about data and privacy and security. And talk a little bit about how, what's our responsibility, as application providers that are leveraging these technologies, our own technologies and others. What are our responsibilities, and how do we best do our jobs and be stewards for the customer in this case?
Yeah, I think so transparency is existential. I think we all have to be really transparent and really careful about the customer's data. So any product that we build, we have to be, I mean, it's always, they decide what happens with their data. So that part is inbuilt, and, and we have to really emphasize that. We have to give customers the choice and the flexibility in this case, especially if you look at even the smallest of the customers deserves that transparency, that flexibility. If you're a large customer, if you want to use your own models, if you want to train them in ways that is specific to your jargon or vocabulary or your brand attributes, we have to find a way to let them do that fine-tuning while still keeping control of their data. And you can do the fine-tuning either through applying it at the time of getting the results from the model, or you can do fine-tuning in different ways in order to evolve the model, but we have to enable those kind of capabilities. The other thing which we have to be careful about, and this is something which I think a lot of us know over here, but because we are in the field, I think one of the dangers of these large language models, as we know, is that they appear highly credible. The conversation is very cogent. It feels like you're really talking to an expert, but frankly, there are a lot of errors in there. Yeah. So how do you responsibly help your customers who are trying to have their employees use that? And they are, I mean, a lot of the employees are not people who understand that large language models hallucinate. So we also have to provide that education aspect in our products so that when their employees are using them, they can use them responsibly in ways that we actually, I think we also have to highlight the limitations of these products. We should not be painting a rosy picture, which leads to unexpected outcomes for our customers.
Yeah, and I think even our own experience of bringing ChatGPT in to our own employee base before we used it in our products was extremely instructive for us, because we started to understand some things, right? I think about a week after we did it, I think Italy said they banned it, and then it wasn't available to the users in China. And so you really started to think about what does that mean for inclusion in a company if some people have some features and some don't. But how do you instrument the product such that you could turn it off for people in that? What happens if that employee travels from Italy to France? Are they allowed to use it? Are they not? These are very complex and challenging things. But if you don't think about them on the behalf of your customers, then you have an obligation. Yeah. And I think I think one of the learnings for us was when you did it ourselves, we were our own.
We drink your own champagne or eat your own dog.
Correct.
Both are very important. Yeah.
Exactly. Talk a little maybe. What else excites you about, if you were you have a lot of young companies here, founders, startups, some of whom may want to partner with Zoom, some of whom may be in a different lines of business. What would you say to them about the ways to approach this exciting frontier?
Yeah, I think everyone is here because everyone is playing in this space, right? So I think the first thing is, I think it's important to it's important to be a practitioner. If you are an application provider, I hope you're building something with, I'm sure you're using AI, but I hope you're accelerating your investments, you are activating it, you're getting to market rapidly, you are looking at the quality carefully, you are thinking about how to communicate the benefits and the limitations to your users. So you are moving fast on it as an application provider. I hope you also, everyone here realizes, and I'm sure you do, that that you are standing a little bit on quicksand. Things are changing very rapidly. So when you're thinking about your application design, you're thinking through how fast things are evolving, and you're keeping that flexibility in mind from day one. And then you're also thinking about your costs. You're thinking about your monitoring models. You're thinking about optimization. So I think you should be thinking along all those 3 dimensions, which is the user experience, the back-end flexibility, back-end flexibility, and user experience includes your customer data experience as well. And then you're thinking about your costs, your monetization, and optimization. If you are a service, if you are an infrastructure provider, or if you are actually, and the panel before us talked about it quite a lot, I think it's such an incredible time for you in order to develop tools for foundational models or MLOps and really continue to evolve them in order to bring, because the tools and the services are really so early. And then I think the opportunity is vast over here to again, build those kind of products. And hopefully, we'll partner with some of you, and you'll partner with other application providers as well in order to test these out and bring these to market.
So I have another 100 days question. So your first 100 days was deep immersion, understanding the business, the culture, the people. What are you most looking forward to in the next 100 days?
I mean, it's been such a busy 100 days. It's been also I really feel just where we are in terms of our roadmap and how rapidly we are bringing features to market. I think it's quite, it's really actually, it's exciting. I think 100 days from now, we would be a lot further. I think we would have learned so much more our customers would be using a lot more of these features. I think a lot of us are putting out trial features right now. I think we would have actual products which we can stand behind by that time. And, and then from there, we would be ready to tackle the next set. So from my side, I would love to see these kind of assistive capabilities. I think we will be in a very good shape for the first generation of it and ready to tackle the next generation across both our products for internal collaboration as well as external collaboration. And I think both surface areas are incredibly important. When I think of internal collaboration, I think of knowledge workers, like a lot of us over here, our meetings, our chats, our phones, our whiteboards. When I think of external, I think sometimes I get even more excited about the external products. Really, we already have such a modern base for our contact center product, for our sales products, marketing products. But now, as we bring in these AI capabilities, and we can really create experiences, which I think will be absolutely transformational.
Yeah, and one other thing that you've talked about that's pretty exciting is this idea of going even one step beyond, which is all of us as knowledge workers spend, would love to have some time back.
Yeah, we have to send Eric on vacation.
Yeah. So you've talked to us internally about some of your ideas around, freeing up time and thinking a little more broadly than just that time spent in meetings. So can you just talk a little bit about what you see as the future?
Yeah, I think I mean, it's a great question, Mahesh, because we are talking about the application surface area, right? And what is your application experience, and then how can AI come and actually take that application experience and really lead to great user outcomes? So as an example, I think, and again, we are a collaboration company. I mean, that's really our DNA. But if you think about collaboration, why do we need to attend so many meetings? We should be able to see what happened in a meeting very, very efficiently and be able to follow up on it. I mean, we have smart recording, which already shows you chapters, but even that's quite onerous. You have to go and look at all the chapters. You have to read through it. So hopefully we'll save a lot of time. I mean, this FOMO will go away because things will be passed and they'll be ready for you to digest in a very consumable way. And I think that in itself is, with the kind of hybrid workforce, I think it changes the game for a lot of us, but we have to do a very good job with it. If we don't do a good job, then it's not going to change the game. So
absolutely.
I'm excited about attending fewer meetings and getting more information, so I'm personally very excited about that.
I think you see a lot of nodding heads, so I think there's a lot of agreement. So with that, I think we'll wrap up this session. I want to thank Smita for her time and great dialogue, and thank all of you, and look forward to meeting you.
Thank you.